not going to arm tackle him all over the strong safety there.
On 1st and goal from the 4, Finch is in. Cracks a couple of tacklers there.
You're looking at thighs that look like Earl Campbell when he was in high school thighs.
For the people that are from Irving, they'll always know Reggie's name. Matter of fact, you don't even have to say Finch. You can just say Reggie and they know who you're talking about.
And the pitch is not surprisingly to Reggie Finch. And immediately Reggie Finch able to go to work and pick up a quick MacArthur first down.
Reggie Finch, first-team All-American, All-Area running back from Irving MacArthur High School, ruled North Texas football and local sports broadcasts in his days from 1985 to 1988.
One of the best tailbacks, maybe the best in the state this year, number 8, Reggie Finch.
Oh, Finch was over for 1,000 yards and looked at him down on the field there before the ball game. They list him at 6 foot 205. Looks like maybe one of those thighs might be 205.
As a 9th grader, he looked like a senior in high school.
Reggie's running back coach, David Kuykendall, known as Coach K, is now the athletic director for Frisco ISD and says Reggie was the kind of player you coach once in a career.
Even back when he was in junior high, people used to always talk about Reggie and how good he was. When he finally got there to high school, it was he was all everybody said he was.
He's one of the top ones. A lot of people are going to be looking after him. He has his eyes set on UCLA and places like that, but he'll wind up probably All-State.
Reggie imagined a grand life for himself.
That I would, first win the Heisman, and then have some luxurious professional football career and end up in the Hall of Fame, break all kind of rushing records, and that was my dream.
Do you think as a coach, hey, this guy could play football professionally?
I thought he could do just about anything we wanted him to do. And whether it be college or pro, it was in his future for sure.
And colleges started taking note early. Young Reggie was heavily recruited.
Going on those recruit trips were really fun, getting to visit colleges.
You know, he made the commitment at some point to go to Oklahoma, and that was splashed all over the news media. And
it was a whole new experience because going from high school to when I'm fixing going to college, I still wasn't really, grasping the greatness, how big it was. But again, I heard about the Heisman Trophy, and that's what I wanted.
But Reggie wouldn't win the Heisman. He wouldn't break any records. He wouldn't even graduate from OU. He ended up drug addicted, jobless, and alone.
Then I became homeless, eating out of dumpsters, sleeping in porta potties.
Longtime fans, supporters, and coaches say they never would have predicted what became of Reggie Finch.
It's hard to believe. It really is when you look back and see that he had life by the tail, at one time.
Incredible middle school football career, incredible high school football career. What happened?
Coach K believes it's simple. Reggie never learned how to fail or to take personal responsibility.
We treated him with kid gloves back when he was high school, and then probably looking back in hindsight, we should have let him fail more. We should let him be ineligible for a semester.
He says nobody did Reggie's high school work for him, but with the best of intentions, coaches and teachers gave a lot of reminders to help keep him on task and on the team.
I had a skewed view of the world. I thought that because I started believing the hype behind Reggie Finch, that when I got to college, I was so self-centered.
That, coupled with the constant praise through his younger years, did not produce the tough demeanor needed in the cutthroat world of college athletics at one of the most prestigious teams in the country.
Going from high school to college was a whole two different worlds. When I was at MacArthur, I guess you hear the story about the big fish in a little pond. I didn't realize how competitive it was.
He went up there and he just was not coddled like he had been in high school. And then all of a sudden, some things kind of started going south in the grades.
After getting in some trouble, he was cut from the Sooners football team. He got on at Navarro Junior College, then played for North Texas. Still, he was drinking and isolating himself to numb the pain of his NFL dreams slipping away. Then, a final blow.
During a drill, my leg slipped out in a certain angle, Oklahoma drill, and my hip broke. So my identity was wrapped in that.
Reggie did graduate from North Texas in 1993, but he says he lost his heart.
But I can remember leaving it out on a 30-yard line on the north end of the Fouts Field. One day I was done, because everything that thought I was told that was supposed to happen, it didn't happen. And I couldn't understand why was this happening to me. And so I had basically, I was a shell. I was a ship with no captain. I left my captain on the football field.
He agrees with Coach K. He simply never learned how to struggle, and this struggle was too much for him to handle.
I needed you to tell me how good I was so I felt secure about myself. And any kind of constructive criticism, I'd never had that.
With the hope of an NFL career gone, Reggie, despite being married and a father, got heavily into cocaine.
After that, I just kind of faded into the wind.
4 years after graduation, he was arrested for possession and delivery of meth and cocaine.
I was the most arrogant, unknowing young man filled with all kinds of these false beliefs about how life really worked.
Upon his release, he got involved in escort services, but eventually his drug addiction took over, so he couldn't even do that. Estranged from his family, Reggie had burned all of his bridges. Reggie was yearning for tough love, someone to force him to do the right thing on his own.
I just knew that there was something going on with me and with my thinking. My mom and dad didn't raise me to be where I was at. They didn't raise me to be no drug dealer. I was truly, truly homeless. I was lost. My physical appearance had gotten so bad. I had this big beard, and I just was just so thin.
He'd long lost touch with Coach K, who would hear stories from friends about what became of high school and college football superstar Reggie Finch.
He talked about his fingernails being sharpened to a point so that way that just anybody started messing with him, he could scratch them and claw them. You would think that, no, not that we're talking about somebody else, right? And he said, no, this is real life. This is the real deal.
It was Reggie's father-in-law who had been helping to support him who finally forced him for the first time in his life to live out the consequences of his decisions on his own.
I was staying in storage units and I wouldn't come out. And he would bring me some food and I'd barely open the door and he'd slide it under and I'd slide out some clothes to wash. But one day he said, Reggie, I gotta let you go.
That was Reggie's rock bottom.
I had to walk in the shoes of people I used to look down on. Because I was this big football player, all right? If you were homeless, I looked down on you. If you were gay, you're beneath me. If you weren't this great athlete to my level, all women, they were just property or just had no feelings.
Lost, alone, hurting and empty, and with no family or friends to speak of, Reggie found Souls Harbor, a men's treatment center in far southeast Dallas.
It had gotten so bad that it was like, what happened to my life? Why, God, is this happening to me?
He was greeted by Executive Director Brent Burmaster.
First time I saw him, I said, I bet he played football. And little did I know that he played for Mile and Milder OU. He was ragged like everybody else that comes in here. He was unkempt, just looked like a homeless guy.
And when I got to Souls Harbor, here's the thing. I wasn't coming here thinking I would ever get off of drugs and alcohol. I just knew that there was something going on with me, with my thinking. My mom and dad didn't raise me to be where I was at. They didn't raise me to be no drug dealer. The teachers at Irving and all the other schools, they didn't teach me to become a drug dealer.
The day he stepped in this facility 6 years ago, he started working the 12-step recovery program.
His spirit was down, but you could see that he was grasping. He wanted to learn. He wanted a better life.
And he did get off drugs, but Reggie also got his mind right.
I now know life is a privilege. Everything is a privilege. It's not entitled to me.
He learned to see recovery as a personal choice, just as he came to realize drugs had been a personal choice. He started to soar once again, this time as a worker at Souls Harbor in their thrift store program.
I put them as my store managers. I put them in dispatch, which is like a control center. I put them as a truck driver. And within a year or so, he was my operations manager.
Within 2.5 years, Reggie was Soul Harbor's second in command and assistant director, a perfect fit. He would understand what the residents were going through. Reggie says he's just a late bloomer in learning the lessons of self-responsibility and accountability. He's now remarried and reconnected with his children.
My dream was to play pro football.
At 6 years sober, he now speaks to local student athletes with the ministry group Rock Bottom Outreach about what he wishes he would have known at their age.
I once had these pads on, and I guarantee you none of y'all, even when I'm telling you a story, will say, man, that ain't me, that ain't gonna happen to me.
And it came full circle. Reggie Finch, former football star, former addict, inspiring football players at his alma mater, Irving MacArthur High School.
Because sometimes we gotta be built up from the bottom up. And if y'all do that together and work and play for the next person, not yourself, you'll win state championship.
Let's not be identified as just Reggie the football player, because those labels will only narrow your point of view in life.
Reggie's lesson: there is so much more to life than football.
One day this will end. We won't play sports all our lives.
He says he tries to reach the people he once was, the prima donnas.
Learn that we're team players. It's not all about me. And people that are involved in my life, coaches, they're placing an investment. They're giving you their time and their effort. Be able to recognize that, because when we get married, we have wives that put their times and effort, children that put their times and effort into us, and that it ain't all about me. And because I don't get what I want, if the coach don't play me or if my wife don't do it, I don't just quit.
Reggie has become a man not defined by compliments, not by accolades, not by athletics, but by his ability to give back.
I had to be humble, and I walked in the shoes of many of the people and did things behind drugs that many of the people I used to look down, and it's taught me how to love.